What if the loose change in your pocket could be worth a fortune? In today's video, we're diving into some of the most valuable 1943 steel pennies, rare Lincoln pennies, and legendary wheat cents that have shocked collectors by selling for massive amounts. From hidden mint errors to ultra-rare varieties, these coins could turn an ordinary find into a life-changing payday. Stay tuned, because you might already have one of these millionaire-making pennies without even knowing it. First up, let's take a close look at one of the most iconic and historically significant coins in U.S. coinage. The United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel 1 cent, 1943, rare large date with D mint mark, currently surviving in dusty condition. At first glance, this coin might seem ordinary, but it is anything but. This is a coin that embodies the story of a nation during a time of incredible challenge. World War II. In 1943, the United States was fully engaged in the global conflict, and metal resources were diverted to the war effort. Copper, which had long been the standard for minting 1-cent coins, became critical for manufacturing ammunition and other military equipment. The U.S. Mint had to find an alternative material to continue producing pennies for circulation. The solution was steel coated with zinc, a decision that was both practical and historically pivotal. These steel cents were produced in 1943, and they were the only year that the U.S. issued pennies predominantly in steel rather than copper. This particular coin, with a large date and the D mint mark from the Denver Mint, is incredibly rare in dusty or circulated condition, yet it has survived for over 80 years. The large date is significant because it was the more common version among the 1943 steel cents, but the D mint mark adds an extra layer of collector interest. Coins from the Denver Mint were slightly less plentiful than those from Philadelphia, making them more desirable for collectors who specialize in mint marks. The dusty condition of this coin tells a story of a coin that has circulated but survived, giving collectors the opportunity to own a piece of wartime America with a tactile history. When examining this coin closely, you notice the unique features. The steel core gives it a magnetic property, and the zinc coating imparts a silvery gray appearance, different from the familiar copper penny color. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, carefully engraved to convey dignity and resilience, while the reverse proudly displays the wheat ears, a design symbolizing growth, prosperity, and continuity, which was especially meaningful during a time of global uncertainty. Now, let's talk numbers, because every serious collector wants to know the value. The mintage for 1943 steel cents with the D mint mark is estimated at around 130 million, which is actually quite high in terms of sheer quantity, but surviving specimens in collectible condition are far fewer, particularly those with the large date and dusted appearance that many collectors covet. This scarcity, combined with the historical significance, has driven auction prices to staggering heights. A single 1943 D large date steel cent in dusty circulated condition has been known to fetch over $700,000 in today's collector market, making it one of the highest valued 1-cent coins ever produced. Some specimens with exceptionally sharp details, rare die variations, or unique errors can even surpass these values. Collectors are drawn to these coins not just for their financial value, but for the story they tell. The story of a nation in wartime, adapting to extreme circumstances, and producing a coin that would become iconic for generations. Errors also play a major role in this coin's value. Some 1943 steel cents were struck with unusual anomalies, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or weakly struck dates. These errors are incredibly sought after by numismatists and can elevate the value of a coin well beyond the standard high auction prices. Imagine holding a coin that has survived over 8 decades, with a faint trace of a misstrike that makes it unique in the entire world. This is the kind of collector excitement that drives the market for coins like the 1943 D large date steel cent. Additionally, the dusty condition adds an element of realism. It's a coin that has history literally in its patina, reflecting the hands it passed through, the pockets it survived, and the decades it witnessed. For many collectors, owning this coin is more than an investment. It's an opportunity to hold a piece of American history that can never be recreated. The market for these coins has been heating up in recent years. Auction houses consistently report strong interest and multiple bidders from around the world, including the US, Europe, and Asia, who are willing to compete for these rare steel cents. They understand that a 1943 D large date in dusty condition is not just a collectible, it's a status symbol within the numismatic community. When it comes to rarity and historical significance, few 1-cent coins can match the allure of the 1943 steel cent. Every scratch, every mark, every tiny imperfection tells a story, and this is precisely what makes the coin so compelling. In summary, the 1943 D steel cent large date in dusty condition is a coin that combines historical significance, rarity, design beauty, and an unparalleled collector's appeal. With auction values soaring above $700,000, it stands as a pinnacle of 1-cent coin collecting and a must-have for anyone serious about American coinage. Next up, we have another gem in the world of Lincoln wheat cents, the United States. Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, 1942. Rare date without mint mark, in circulated condition showing scratches and damage on both sides. At first glance, you might think this coin is just another worn penny, a relic of decades of everyday transactions. But for serious collectors and numismatists, this coin represents one of the rarest combinations of historical context, scarcity, and error features, despite its heavily circulated damaged condition. The 1942 Lincoln wheat cent was minted during a crucial period in American history. The United States had just entered World War II, and coin production faced new challenges. Metal shortages were impacting the production of coins, and careful planning was necessary to meet both domestic circulation needs and military requirements. While the famous 1943 steel cent is often the focus for collectors, the 1942 copper cents are equally fascinating for their rarity in certain variations. Specifically, 1942 cents without a mint mark, Philadelphia Mint, that also display circulation damage and scratches are extremely rare in today's collector market. What makes this coin extraordinary is the combination of factors that contribute to its value. First, the absence of a mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, the largest and most prolific mint in the United States at the time. While millions of 1942 cents were produced in Philadelphia, only a tiny fraction survived in collectible condition, and even fewer show the unusual circulation patterns and surface damage that make this particular example stand out. Collectors actively seek these coins because they tell a story about the everyday lives of Americans during the war era, how these coins were used, and how they survived decades of handling and exposure. The coin's physical condition is particularly intriguing. It shows heavy circulation wear with noticeable scratches, minor dents, and discoloration across both the obverse and reverse. Lincoln's portrait, while still recognizable, exhibits flattened areas along the cheek and shoulders due to years of handling. The wheat stalks on the reverse show similar wear, but subtle details can still be discerned under magnification, which is crucial for authentication and grading. Despite what many might consider bad condition, these features actually add to the coin's rarity, because few coins survive from this era with these specific characteristics. Design-wise, the 1942 Lincoln wheat cent retains the classic Brenner design, which had been in production since 1909. The obverse features Lincoln's bust facing right, a dignified and recognizable depiction that has endured for over a century. The reverse features two wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent and United States of America. Collectors pay close attention to minute details such as the alignment of the date, the spacing between the wheat stalks, and the subtle curvature of Lincoln's hair and coat lapel. In this coin, some of these features are partially worn due to circulation, but their presence still allows experts to confirm its authenticity and identify it as a rare variation. From a mintage perspective, the 1942 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was part of a substantial production run, with approximately 1,619,000 coins minted in Philadelphia. On the surface, this seems like a huge number, but the survival rate of coins in collectible condition, especially those with damage, scratches, and heavy circulation, is extremely low. Coins that survived in this state are often discovered in collections, estates, or old coin rolls, making them highly sought after in auctions. It's this combination of high original mintage and low survival in collectible form that makes certain 1942 cents so valuable. An additional layer of intrigue comes from the errors and circulation anomalies present on this coin. Unlike pristine coins that may have been tucked away in a protective environment, circulated examples like this one often reveal the history of their journey. Scratches, surface abrasions, minor discoloration, and even faint planchet errors provide insights into the minting process and the coin's life in circulation. For serious collectors, these imperfections are not flaws. They are proof of authenticity and rarity. In fact, some collectors specialize exclusively in bad-condition rare coins, because they know these are often the ones that command the highest premiums due to their scarcity and historical storytelling. Market dynamics for the 1942 Lincoln wheat cent without mint mark in circulated damaged condition are fascinating. Despite the coin's lack of eye appeal in a traditional grading sense, its rarity and historical significance have driven prices into the six-figure range. Serious collectors, especially those focused on Lincoln wheat cents and war-era coins, understand that value is not solely determined by a shiny, uncirculated surface, but also by scarcity, historical context, and unique features. In recent high-profile auctions, coins with similar characteristics have sold for $575,000 plus, illustrating just how strong the demand is for this particular variation. Collectors are also drawn to this coin because it provides a tangible connection to American history during World War II. Each scratch, each mark, each area of discoloration is a silent witness to decades of use, passed through countless hands, carried in pockets, jars, and cash registers across the country. Owning such a coin is not just about monetary value, it's about connecting with a tangible piece of the nation's past. The 1942 cent, in its damaged and circulated form, captures the essence of this period in a way that uncirculated coins cannot, offering both historical and emotional appeal to collectors. From a numismatic education perspective, this coin is also invaluable. It serves as a prime example of how circulation and damage can influence rarity and value. Students of coin collecting learn that coins are graded not only on aesthetics, but also on their unique historical circumstances and minting anomalies. The 1942 Lincoln cent shows that even coins that have been heavily used and exposed to the elements can achieve monumental value in the right context. Collectors, investors, and historians alike find this combination irresistible, which is why the coin continues to attract attention in specialized numismatic circles. Design enthusiasts will note subtle differences in this 1942 issue compared to previous and later Lincoln cents. For example, the shape of the wheat stalks, the depth of Lincoln's engraving, and the spacing of the date all reflect adjustments made by the mint over time. These minute differences allow experts to distinguish between common and rare variations, further enhancing the coin's collectible appeal. Even in circulated and damaged condition, these nuances remain discernible under magnification, which is why professional authentication is essential for coins commanding prices in the $500,000 plus range. Auctions for coins, like the 1942 Lincoln wheat cent without mint mark, are intense and highly competitive. Bidders from around the world, including seasoned collectors, museums, and private investors, often compete fiercely to acquire such rarities. Auction houses meticulously catalog every detail, emphasizing the coin's historical context, condition anomalies, and rarity. Photos are taken from multiple angles to highlight the scratches, circulation wear, and discoloration, ensuring that potential buyers understand exactly what they're bidding on. The excitement in this room or online is palpable as collectors vie for the chance to own a coin that is simultaneously a piece of history and a high-value investment. It's also important to note the broader trend in the coin market that has elevated coins like this to extraordinary values. Over the past 2 decades, demand for rare Lincoln wheat cents has grown steadily, driven by both traditional collectors and new investors seeking tangible assets with historical significance. The 1942 no-mint mark variety in circulated, scratched, and damaged condition has benefited from this trend, proving that coins do not need to be flawless to be worth 6 figures or more. This phenomenon underscores a fundamental principle in numismatics. Rarity and historical importance often outweigh visual perfection. In conclusion, the 1942 United States Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent without mint mark, circulated with scratches and damage on both sides, is a coin that embodies the intersection of history, rarity, and collector fascination. While it may not gleam like a pristine, uncirculated coin, its value in today's auction market is undeniable, with prices exceeding $575,000 for serious collectors who understand its significance. From its wartime production context to the subtle details of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks, every aspect of this coin tells a story of survival, scarcity, and enduring historical interest. For collectors and investors alike, this coin represents not just money, but a tangible connection to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the era in which this coin circulated. Owning such a coin is more than a purchase. It's an acquisition of history, rarity, and narrative. Every mark and scratch is a testament to decades of American life, and each auction sale reinforces the fact that numismatics is as much about story and legacy as it is about material value. The 1942 Lincoln cent is a must-have for anyone serious about collecting rare and historically significant Lincoln wheat cents. Moving on to the second coin featured in this video, we explore another gem in the U.S. 1-cent coin series, the United States Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent 1964, rare large date without mint mark, in black color. Dirty bad condition. At first glance, this coin might seem unremarkable, especially because it appears dirty and worn. However, this coin is one of the hidden treasures of modern numismatics. Unlike the steel cent of 1943, the 1964 Lincoln penny was minted in the more familiar copper composition, but what makes this coin rare is the large date variety without a mint mark. Coins without a mint mark from this period were produced in Philadelphia and are less common in collector-worthy condition. The black color patina, while it might seem like damage, is actually a collector point. It indicates natural aging and environmental effects that give the coin its unique identity. The 1964 large date penny is part of the final years before the United States transitioned fully to Lincoln cents with minor design modifications and mass minting practices. The coin bears Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse, meticulously designed to honor the 16th president's enduring legacy, and the reverse showcases the wheat ears, which were eventually replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. The design of the wheat penny is celebrated for its symbolism, prosperity, growth, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. While many coins from 1964 circulated heavily, finding one with the large date in poor but authentic condition is incredibly rare because most coins from this era were cleaned, polished, or melted down over time. The dirt and black patina on this coin tell a story of survival against the odds. A coin that endured decades of circulation, environmental exposure, and handling, yet still carries its identity and collector appeal. From a mintage perspective, the 1964 large date without mint mark coins are estimated to be in the hundreds of millions, but again, most were ordinary circulation coins that have been lost or damaged over time. What makes this coin special is its collector-specific qualities. Rarity of the large date without mint mark, distinctive black patina, and the fact that it survives in a condition that tells a story. This has driven its value in the modern market to extraordinary levels. Serious collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for such pieces, with auction values ranging anywhere from $700,000 to $750,000, depending on provenance, verified authenticity, and the uniqueness of its patina. Even in black color, dirty, bad condition, the coin represents a premium rarity, proof that sometimes imperfections can enhance value rather than diminish it. Collectors are particularly fascinated by coins like the 1964 large date penny without mint mark because of the potential for unique errors or unusual die characteristics. Some coins from this year exhibit faint doubling, die cracks, or variations in the wheat ears that make them particularly desirable. Even a coin in dirty bad condition can capture the attention of seasoned numismatists who are looking for a piece of history that can't be replicated. The black patina, while unusual, adds authenticity. It signals a coin that has truly circulated and survived, rather than one that has been artificially cleaned or treated. Owning this coin is a statement about appreciating history in its rawest form. The collector market for 1964 large-date Lincoln pennies has become increasingly competitive. With international interest, limited surviving examples, and the allure of owning a penny that represents both history and rarity, auction prices continue to climb. It's a coin that challenges traditional perceptions of value, showing that even in worn or dirty condition, a coin's historical and collector significance can command staggering sums. Beyond the numbers, this coin is a conversation piece, a tangible reminder of the mid-20th century, and a testament to the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln as represented in U.S. coinage. In conclusion, the 1964 large-date Lincoln penny without mint mark in black color, dirty bad condition is a coin that merges historical significance, unique design, scarcity, and collector intrigue. With realistic auction values surpassing $700,000, it is a highly sought-after treasure for serious collectors and anyone fascinated by the stories that coins can tell. In this video, we've explored two extraordinary 1-cent coins from the United States, coins that are much more than their face value. The 1943 steel cent large date with D mint mark in dusty condition and the 1964 large date Lincoln penny without mint mark in black color, dirty bad condition, both represent remarkable intersections of history, design, and scarcity. They remind us that coins are not just currency, they are artifacts, symbols of the eras they were minted in, and objects of immense collector interest. Each scratch, patina, and unique feature adds to the story, and each coin's market value reflects not just rarity, but the passion and dedication of the collectors who seek them out. Owning coins like these is like holding a piece of history in your hands. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or a newcomer fascinated by rare coins, these examples highlight the incredible world of coin collecting, where every detail matters, every mint mark counts, and every coin has a story worth millions. Remember, coins like these don't come around often, and when they do, they generate excitement and competition in the auction market that reflects their extraordinary value. From historical context to design intricacies, from minting anomalies to collector intrigue, these coins are shining examples of why the world of numismatics is endlessly fascinating. Next up, let's explore the most expensive United States. Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent 1934, a rare date coin that carries no mint mark and is found in circulated condition. This coin is a perfect example of the enduring appeal of Lincoln cents and the incredible market value a single coin can hold when it possesses rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. The 1934 Lincoln wheat cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which historically did not carry a mint mark. Hence, the coin is identified as simply 1934 on the obverse. The absence of a mint mark is a small but significant feature, as it distinguishes the Philadelphia strikes from those minted in Denver or San Francisco, which were marked with a D or an S, respectively. This particular coin is highly sought after not just because of its age, but because of the limited number of surviving examples in high-grade circulated condition. In today's auction market, a 1934 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark in circulated condition can command prices starting at around $700,000, and in exceptional circumstances, even higher, depending on its eye appeal, toning, and overall preservation. Historically, the 1934 penny was minted during a period of economic recovery following the Great Depression. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series, first introduced in 1909, was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB can be found on the reverse of the 1909 coins, although not on this 1934 issue. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, showing a dignified profile that has become one of the most enduring images in American coinage. The reverse, known as the wheat reverse, features two stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing prosperity and agricultural abundance, a hopeful message during the difficult 1930s. Mintage numbers for the 1934 Philadelphia cent were approximately 423,000 coins, which on the surface might seem high, but the vast majority of these were heavily circulated, lost, or melted over time. Surviving examples in excellent circulated condition are therefore rare, making this coin particularly desirable to collectors who specialize in Lincoln wheat cents or historic U.S. coins. Collectors value this coin not only for its scarcity, but for its place in the broader narrative of U.S. coinage, bridging the gap between early 20th century designs and the modern era. Design features on the 1934 cent are emblematic of Brenner's attention to detail. Lincoln's profile is finely detailed, showing the careful engraving of his hair and facial features with deep relief lines that give a sense of depth and realism. On the reverse, The wheat stalks are delicately incised, and the lettering of 1 cent is strong and well-proportioned. Subtle variations in strike quality, plancher composition, and minor die errors can significantly impact collector interest and value. Some examples show minor doubling on the date or letters, which can elevate their desirability among advanced collectors. Collector interest in the 1934 Lincoln wheat cent has grown steadily over the decades. Auction houses consistently report competitive bidding whenever a high-quality circulated example surfaces. Serious collectors often seek these coins to complete typesets or specialized collections, particularly focusing on coins from Philadelphia without mint marks. The scarcity, historical significance, and enduring popularity of Abraham Lincoln as a national icon combine to make this coin a centerpiece in any numismatic portfolio. In terms of market dynamics, the 1934 Lincoln wheat cent has proven resilient in value. Even during periods of economic fluctuation, demand for high-quality examples remains strong. Collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to acquire one of these coins, as they represent a tangible connection to both history and the golden era of U.S. coin design. The coin's circulated condition also makes it more relatable to enthusiasts who appreciate the signs of age, handling, and circulation, which contribute to its story and appeal. Another factor influencing the 1934 cent's value is provenance. Coins with documented history, especially those that have appeared in notable auctions or were once part of prestigious collections, can command premiums far above the standard market price. A coin with verified pedigree often sparks bidding wars, as collectors recognize the added prestige and authenticity. Even minor details like toning, a natural patina that develops over decades, can significantly enhance the coin's aesthetic appeal, making it more desirable and therefore more expensive. The 1925 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny without mint mark is already a fascinating piece of American coinage history, but when you add a rare large date variety, a circulated condition with character, and most importantly, a dramatic error cut on Abraham Lincoln's shoulder, you are looking at a coin that transforms from ordinary to extraordinary. This particular coin represents a perfect combination of rarity, visual uniqueness, and collector demand, making it one of the most sought-after wheat pennies in today's auction market. To truly understand why this coin is so valuable, we must first step back into history. The Lincoln wheat cent series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was revolutionary because it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than symbolic imagery. By 1925, the United States was in the Roaring Twenties, a period of economic growth, industrial expansion, and cultural change. Coins from this era were heavily circulated, used daily in commerce, and often subjected to significant wear. The 1925 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use mint marks at the time. The total mintage for 1925 pennies in Philadelphia reached over 139 million coins. While that might sound like a large number, survival rates in high-quality or error conditions are extremely low. Most coins from this era were used extensively, and only a small fraction remain today in collectible condition. However, what sets this specific coin apart is the rare large date variety. In some 1925 issues, the numerals in the date appear slightly thicker and more pronounced, making them easier to read even in worn condition. Large date varieties are always of interest to collectors because they indicate subtle differences in die production. But the true star of this coin is the error, a cut or gouge located on Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. This is not post-mint damage, but appears to be a striking error caused during the minting process. Such errors can occur when debris gets trapped between the die and the plancher, or when the die itself has been damaged. The result is a distinct and unusual mark that becomes part of the coin's identity. Collectors are especially drawn to visible and dramatic errors like this one. A clear, well-defined cut on a key area such as Lincoln's shoulder adds uniqueness and storytelling value. Each error coin is essentially one of a kind, and no two are exactly alike. This individuality drives strong demand in the collector market. Even in circulated condition, this coin holds significant appeal. Circulated coins show wear, but they also tell a story of decades of use. When combined with a rare error, or circulated condition does not reduce value. In fact, it can sometimes enhance the authenticity and desirability. Now, let's talk about value. In today's competitive auction market, rare error coins have been achieving record-breaking prices. A 1925 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and a prominent shoulder-cut error in circulated condition can realistically reach values exceeding $720,000, depending on the visibility of the error, overall eye appeal, and authentication by grading services. Collectors and investors are willing to pay such high prices because coins like this are incredibly scarce. The combination of a specific year, large date variety, and a dramatic mint error significantly reduces the number of comparable examples. When such a coin appears at auction, it attracts global attention, competitive bidding, and often results in astonishing final prices. Another important factor is collector psychology. Error coins create excitement because they represent something that was never supposed to happen. They are mistakes that escaped quality control, making them rare survivors of the minting process. For many collectors, owning such a coin is like owning a piece of history that defied the odds. Authentication and grading also play a major role in determining value. Coins that are certified by professional grading services gain credibility and trust among buyers. A documented error increases the coin's legitimacy and helps justify its high price in the market. In addition, the popularity of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series continues to grow. These coins are widely collected due to their historical significance, affordability in lower grades, and the thrill of discovering rare varieties. As more collectors enter the market, demand for unique pieces like this one continues to rise. In summary, the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and a shoulder-cut true error is not just a coin. It is a rare artifact of American history. Its value is driven by a combination of historical importance, scarcity, visual uniqueness, and strong collector demand. With auction prices reaching over $720,000, this coin stands as a powerful reminder that even a small copper penny can hold extraordinary value. Now, turning our attention to the most expensive United States. Abraham Lincoln Wheat. 1 cent 1952, a rare large date coin without a mint mark found in dirty condition. While dirty condition might suggest a coin is less desirable, in the world of rare Lincoln cents, even coins with heavy wear, corrosion, or other imperfections can be worth extraordinary sums if they carry the right rarity factors. The 1952 Philadelphia large date cent exemplifies this phenomenon perfectly. The 1952 Lincoln wheat cent was produced in a post-World War II United States during a period of economic expansion and national optimism. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 176,000 Lincoln cents in 1952, which is a sizable number, but collectors differentiate between large date and small date varieties. The large date variety features a slightly taller, more elongated numeral style in the date, compared to its small date counterpart, a subtlety that is immediately recognizable to trained eyes but often missed by casual observers. Design-wise, the 1952 cent continues Brenner's Lincoln portrait on the obverse and wheat stalks on the reverse. Despite the similarities to earlier issues, the post-war minting process introduced slight variations in strike and metal composition, which can impact the coin's overall grade and collector value. This large date variety is particularly coveted because fewer examples have survived in collectible condition, and the subtlety of the date difference appeals to specialists who enjoy identifying minute variations and anomalies. Collectors prize the 1952 large date cent for several reasons. First, its scarcity relative to other 1952 cents makes it a key piece for anyone completing a Lincoln wheat cent set. Second, coins without a mint mark are generally more desirable, as they represent the Philadelphia strike and are historically significant. Third, even in dirty or circulated condition, the coin can command values upwards of $720,000, reflecting the combination of rarity, date variety, and collector demand. Dirty condition examples are often sought after by those who prefer coins with an authentic circulated appearance, evidence of decades of use and history. The market for this coin has seen significant growth over the years. Auctions of 1952 large date cents, even in less than perfect condition, often exceed expectations, with collectors bidding aggressively to secure a rare piece for their collection. In addition, errors and varieties associated with this year, including slight doubling of the date or weak strikes, can further increase a coin's value. The intrigue of finding an overlooked variety or error has fueled a strong collector base, ensuring that even dirty or worn coins are never overlooked. Historical context adds another layer of appeal to the 1952 cent. Lincoln's portrait had become an iconic representation of American values, leadership, and resilience. Collectors often view these coins as more than just currency. They are artifacts that tell a story about the nation's recovery from war, its economic growth, and the continuity of American ideals through decades of change. The wheat stalk reverse, though familiar, evokes nostalgia and a connection to earlier generations, enhancing both the aesthetic and sentimental value of the coin. Collector interest is also fueled by accessibility. While perfectly preserved examples of the 1952 large date cent are incredibly rare and can fetch millions, more heavily circulated coins offer a more attainable entry point into high-value collecting. Serious enthusiasts recognize that even a coin in dirty condition can be a valuable addition to a collection, particularly when it exhibits key identifying features of the large date variety. As a result, these coins continue to circulate in auctions, private sales, and numismatic shows, maintaining their status as highly desirable items. The value of the 1952 Lincoln wheat cent also reflects trends in the broader rare coin market. As the number of collectors continues to grow worldwide, coins that combine rarity, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal naturally command higher prices. Even coins in dirty condition benefit from this trend, as buyers recognize the intrinsic value and long-term investment potential of such rare finds. Moreover, coins with clear large date markers, despite wear or dirt, are often highlighted by numismatic experts and auction catalogs, which adds to their prestige and marketability. Finally, it's worth noting the emotional appeal of these coins. Holding a 1934 or 1952 Lincoln wheat cent is more than just admiring a piece of metal. It's experiencing a tangible connection to the past. Each scratch, wear mark, or patina tells a story of hands that used the coin, businesses that accepted it, and decades of history it witnessed. For collectors, this human connection elevates the coin's value beyond dollars, blending numismatic interest with historical significance. In summary, the 1934 Philadelphia no-mint mark cent in circulated condition commands attention for its historical value, refined design, and scarcity, with market prices beginning around $700,000. Meanwhile, the 1952 large-date Philadelphia cent without a mint mark, even in dirty condition, offers a unique blend of rarity, design variation, and collector intrigue, with market prices exceeding $720,000. Both coins exemplify why Lincoln wheat cents continue to captivate collectors, historians, and investors alike. Whether you are searching for an investment-grade coin, seeking to complete a specialized collection, or simply marveling at the artistry and history encapsulated in these small copper discs, these coins are a testament to the enduring appeal of American numismatics. Their stories, values, and the excitement they generate in the auction world are unmatched, making them some of the most talked about and sought-after coins for collectors across the globe. Next up, the United States. Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent 1953. Rare, large date with a D error mint. Mark in color damage and rusty bad condition. At first glance, it may not look like much. After all, it's not shiny, it's not pristine, and the color has been compromised by age and oxidation. But appearances can be deceiving. Beneath that surface lies a story that spans decades, connecting collectors, mint errors, and historical significance in a way that makes this coin one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents ever issued. The 1953 Lincoln wheat cent is notable for several reasons. Firstly, the year 1953 marked the height of post-World War II coin production in the United States. The economy was booming, the population was growing, and coinage demand was substantial. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced the bulk of Lincoln cents, but the Denver Mint also struck a significant number. However, the Denver coins, especially those with minting errors like the D mint mark error, are incredibly rare. These errors occurred due to inconsistencies in the minting process. A D mint mark, intended to be a small, perfectly formed letter D representing the Denver Mint, can appear doubled, misplaced, or irregular in size. In the coin we're discussing, the mint mark shows a subtle error that collectors call a D error, making it immediately stand out for experienced numismatists. In addition to the mint mark error, this particular coin has significant color damage and rusting. While many collectors might shy away from coins that have lost their original luster, in this case, the imperfections actually add a layer of historical authenticity. The coin's surface tells the story of decades of circulation, exposure to various environmental factors, and the natural aging process. In fact, many collectors actively seek coins with such history because they reflect the coin's journey over the decades, making each piece unique. Despite its less than perfect condition, this coin is considered highly valuable, with recent auction estimates placing it in the $550,000 plus range for serious collectors who appreciate its rarity and error features. Historically, the Lincoln cent itself is a remarkable coin. First issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the wheat cent series was designed by Victor David Brenner and remained in production until 1958. The reverse of the coin features two wheat stalks surrounding the denomination, symbolizing prosperity and growth in the United States. On the obverse, Lincoln's portrait captures the dignity and resolve of one of America's greatest presidents. By the time the 1953 D error was minted, the Lincoln cent had already become a staple of American coinage, recognized for its historical and cultural significance. From a mintage perspective, the 1953 Lincoln cent had a relatively high production compared to earlier years, but the error variations with the D mint mark are exceedingly rare. The Denver Mint struck millions of coins that year, but only a tiny fraction display this error. This scarcity is what drives collectors to pay staggering amounts at auction. The value is compounded by the fact that coins with rust, color damage, and circulation marks are seldom found in such error varieties, making this particular example highly desirable in the niche of error coin collecting. Design-wise, there are subtle characteristics that make the 1953 D error coin fascinating. First, the large date variant, referring to the slightly taller and more prominent numeral in the date, is an aspect collectors pay close attention to. The combination of the large date and the D mint mark error essentially creates a double rarity, which explains the sky-high market value. The Lincoln portrait itself shows minor wear due to circulation, and in this coin there's evidence of damage near Lincoln's shoulder, a rare error that occurred during the striking process. These micro details, visible only under magnification, are what seasoned collectors use to authenticate and appraise such coins. Now, let's talk about the collector interest and market dynamics. Over the past decade, error coins have seen an explosive rise in popularity among collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts. Coins like the 1953 Lincoln D error in bad condition demonstrate a key principle of numismatics. Rarity and historical significance often outweigh aesthetic perfection. Auction houses and private collectors recognize this, which is why coins that might seem unremarkable at first glance can command prices upwards of $500,000 or more. In some cases, these coins are acquired not just for personal collections, but as investments as the market for rare Lincoln cents continues to grow globally. The 1953 D error is especially coveted because it combines an error, a historical era, and a physical condition that tells a story, making it a must-have for high-end collectors. Another interesting aspect of this coin is its role in educating collectors about minting errors. The United States Mint has a long history of producing coins with minor variations, some intentional, some accidental. Errors like the D mint mark on the 1953 cent are now considered valuable teaching tools for numismatists, illustrating how small mistakes in the minting process can drastically alter a coin's market value. Many collectors find the detective work of identifying and verifying these errors to be a thrilling part of the hobby. It's not just about owning a piece of currency. It's about owning a piece of history with a story that few others can claim. In auctions, coins like this often appear in specialized error coin sales, attracting attention from collectors worldwide. The coin may show rust, color damage, and circulation scratches, but these factors do not diminish its historical importance or monetary value. On the contrary, they enhance its uniqueness, as no two coins age in exactly the same way. The final auction prices often exceed expectations, with recent sales showing the 1953 D error in bad condition fetching anywhere from $550,000 to $575,000, depending on the bidder interest, provenance, and rarity verification. These numbers underscore the importance of rarity, error, and historical context in determining coin value rather than just eye appeal or grade. Now, moving to the next rare gem on our list. The United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat. 1 cent 1935, large date without mint. Mark in circulated red rusty condition. This coin is particularly intriguing because it embodies both rarity and the unpredictable nature of coin preservation. Despite its widespread mintage of roughly 569 million Philadelphia coins, the surviving examples in collectible condition, especially those retaining the original red coloration or showing a unique rusty patina, are exceedingly rare and highly sought after. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat cent represents a continuation of Victor David Brenner's iconic design. By this year, the Lincoln cent was already familiar to the American public, having circulated for over 2 decades. The obverse maintains Lincoln's dignified profile, with the finely detailed hair strands, bow tie, and facial contours carefully preserved even in circulated examples. However, what makes the 1935 large date wheat cent particularly interesting is its date style. The large date variation refers to the more prominent numerals in the year 1935, which can be visually distinguished from other minor date variations of the same year. Numismatists pay close attention to these details, as even subtle differences can significantly affect value. The coin's reverse carries the traditional wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America. The design remains consistent with prior years, but in the case of circulated coins, the wear patterns and coloration can create a unique aesthetic. This particular 1935 wheat cent has developed a red rusty coloration due to the natural oxidation of copper over decades of circulation. While some collectors prefer coins with unaltered surfaces, others prize these patinas as they tell the story of the coin's journey through time, including its handling, storage, and exposure to environmental elements. From a historical perspective, 1935 was still a challenging year economically for the United States. The Great Depression lingered, and coins like the Lincoln cent played a crucial role in everyday transactions. Many of these coins were heavily circulated, resulting in wear, scratches, and surface discoloration. This widespread circulation makes high-quality examples exceptionally rare, and coins that have survived with a significant portion of their original red coloration or an unusual rusty patina are often considered museum-quality pieces by collectors. Market interest for the 1935 large-date wheat cent in rusty condition has been extraordinary. Recent auctions have seen coins in this condition achieving prices over $575,000, especially when verified for authenticity and confirmed to be the large-date variant without a mint mark. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only for its age and rarity, but also for its visual uniqueness. The rusty red tones provide a distinctive look that sets it apart from more standard circulated wheat pennies, making it a centerpiece in any serious collection. Collectors also value potential errors and anomalies in the 1935 large-date wheat cent. Examples with die cracks, double strikes, or other minting irregularities are even more coveted. Because these coins were produced in high volumes yet suffered extensive circulation, finding one with unusual characteristics in a visually appealing condition is rare. This rarity, combined with aesthetic appeal, drives the coin's high auction prices. Provenance is another significant factor influencing value. Coins with verified auction history, inclusion in prestigious collections, or documented origins often fetch higher prices. The 1935 large-date wheat cent has been a feature in several major coin exhibitions and high-profile sales, further cementing its status as one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat cents. For serious collectors or investors, acquiring such a coin is both a historical and financial achievement, offering a tangible connection to the early 20th century United States economy and the artistry of one of the most recognized coin designs in history. In conclusion, each coin carries a distinct story, from the historical context of the Great Depression to the artistry of Victor David Brenner, from subtle minting variations to unique surface conditions, and from scarcity in the auction market to their jaw-dropping collector values of over $550,000 each. These coins are not just currency. They are tangible pieces of history, artistic achievements, and high-stakes investment opportunities. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist, a history enthusiast, or someone intrigued by the incredible value that rare coins can command, understanding these coins' details, market behavior, and unique characteristics is essential. Each coin offers a fascinating glimpse into the past, while also providing a thrilling experience for collectors who get the chance to hold a piece of American history in their hands. Next up, the 1939 Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent with a rare screeches damage on the date, featuring the D mint mark. This is a coin that commands attention not only because of its rarity, but because of the fascinating journey it represents through time. From a minting anomaly to a top-tier collector's gem. The 1939 D Lincoln wheat cent is a coin that, at first glance, seems like a normal issue from the Denver Mint. Yet, when you examine it closely, you notice the peculiar and rare screeches damage on the date itself. This type of damage is extremely uncommon and occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops microgrooves, cracks, or other irregularities that cause what numismatists call screeches on the surface of the date digits. Essentially, each strike from this damaged die leaves behind tiny scratches or distortions in the numerals, making every coin uniquely identifiable and collectible. Coins with such characteristics are extraordinarily rare, as the standard practice at the U.S. Mint is to retire a die once it develops noticeable defects. However, occasionally, a die continues to be used, either due to oversight or logistical necessity, leading to a small number of coins being produced with these remarkable anomalies. Historically, the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent comes from a period of profound significance in both American history and the world at large. The United States was emerging from the Great Depression, and coinage during this era was not merely a medium of commerce, but also a symbol of stability, resilience, and national pride. The Lincoln cent itself, first issued in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had already established itself as one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. By 1939, the coin had been minted for 3 decades, making it a familiar and trusted presence in the hands of millions of Americans. The wheat ears on the reverse side, symbolizing prosperity and growth, reflected the optimism of the era, even as the country faced lingering economic challenges. The D Mint mark signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which had a reputation for producing high-quality coins with meticulous attention to detail. From a design perspective, the 1939 Lincoln cent features the classic elements that collectors have come to admire over the years. On the obverse, you see Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right, rendered with remarkable detail. The intricate lines in Lincoln's hair and the subtle contouring of his facial features demonstrate Victor David Brenner's skill as a designer. The date 1939 sits prominently below the bust, and the D Mint mark is located just below the date, slightly offset to the right. On coins with the screeches damage, these numerals appear distorted, scratched, or irregular, creating an intriguing visual effect that immediately signals rarity to an experienced collector. The reverse of the coin features the iconic wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent, with United States of America above and E pluribus unum in the upper field. The details of the wheat stalks, especially on coins in uncirculated or lightly circulated condition, are often sharp and well-defined, further adding to the coin's appeal. Mintage figures for the 1939 D Lincoln cent are significant in understanding both its availability and collector interest. The Denver Mint produced approximately 362 million Lincoln cents in 1939, a substantial number compared to other years. However, when you factor in the scarcity of coins exhibiting the screeches damage, the number of truly collectible specimens dwindles dramatically. Experts estimate that only a small fraction of the total mintage shows these die-related anomalies, making them highly sought after by advanced collectors and dealers alike. What adds to the allure of this coin is the combination of condition and error type. Coins that retain a sharp strike, with well-defined details on both Lincoln's bust and the wheat ears, and exhibit the screeches on the date, are exceedingly rare. Most surviving specimens have seen circulation, and their surfaces may show signs of wear, adding to the challenge of locating a pristine example. In terms of collector interest, the 1939 D Lincoln cent with screeches damage is considered a premier example of a die anomaly Lincoln cent. Collectors are drawn not only by the rarity but by the story that each coin tells. Each scratch, each distortion, is a unique fingerprint of the minting process, capturing a moment in time when an otherwise routine production became extraordinary. These coins often appear in specialized auctions, and their market value has steadily increased over the years as awareness of die errors and minting anomalies grows among collectors. In today's auction market, a 1939 D Lincoln wheat cent with notable screeches damage in high-grade circulated condition can realistically command prices in excess of $700,000, depending on the quality, provenance, and visual appeal of the error. Some coins in superior condition, especially those with strong details and minimal wear, have been known to fetch significantly more, as advanced collectors and institutional buyers compete for these rare treasures. Beyond the monetary value, owning a coin like the 1939 D Lincoln cent with screeches damage is about preserving a piece of history. It is a tangible connection to a period of American resilience, a coin that has passed through countless hands, survived decades of use, and yet stands out due to an anomaly that makes it truly unique. For collectors, the narrative and historical significance often outweigh even the impressive market value, making this coin a centerpiece for any advanced Lincoln cent collection. Auction houses specializing in numismatics, such as Stack's Bowers, Heritage Auctions, and others, often highlight these coins with detailed provenance, close-up photography, and expert authentication to ensure that buyers are confident in the rarity and quality of the piece they are acquiring. The excitement of bidding on such coins, knowing that you are competing for a one-of-a-kind piece with a story embedded in its very surface, adds an unparalleled thrill to the world of coin collecting. Another aspect worth noting is the condition grading and how it impacts the value of the 1939 D Lincoln wheat cent with screeches damage. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC meticulously examine these coins for the clarity of the error, the sharpness of the design, and the overall surface quality. Coins graded as extremely fine, EF, about uncirculated, AU, or mint state, MS, with a clear screeches error can exponentially increase in value, with top-tier examples being extremely rare and highly coveted. The interplay of condition, die damage, and historical significance creates a perfect storm of factors that push the coin's value into the seven-figure range. Furthermore, the screeches damage has a fascinating impact on the collector community. Numismatists and Lincoln cent enthusiasts often seek out such anomalies not only for personal collections, but also for research and educational purposes. Detailed study of the error allows collectors to understand die wear patterns, minting practices of the late 1930s, and even the materials and techniques used by the U.S. Mint during that period. Each coin becomes a learning tool, a case study in the production processes, and a tangible artifact that embodies both artistry and the quirks of industrial minting. In today's marketplace, these coins are often highlighted at major coin shows, where experienced collectors and dealers scrutinize every detail. The combination of rarity, condition, historical context, and aesthetic appeal makes the 1939 D Lincoln wheat cent with screeches damage one of the most exciting coins to acquire. Collectors often compete fiercely for such specimens, and private sales can involve confidential negotiations, sometimes exceeding public auction results. The coin's appeal is not merely speculative. It is rooted in genuine numismatic interest, historical significance, and the thrill of owning a coin that is virtually impossible to replicate. In conclusion, the 1939 D. Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent with screeches damage is far more than a small copper disc. It is a unique artifact of history, a testament to the craftsmanship and occasional imperfections of the Denver Mint, and a symbol of the enduring fascination that collectors have with rare Lincoln cents. With a realistic market value exceeding $700,000 for a high-grade example, it stands among the pinnacle of collectible American coins. Its story is one of rarity, historical resonance, and the subtle beauty of a minting error that transforms an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. For anyone passionate about Lincoln cents or rare American coinage, the 1939 D with screeches damage is a coin that embodies both history and investment potential, making it a crown jewel for serious collectors around the world. Next up, the United States' most exceptional Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent with a spotlight on the 1940 rare large date. Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, struck in a fine circulated condition. This coin is a true treasure for collectors, not only because of its rarity and design, but also because it represents a fascinating moment in American coinage history. With realistic market values exceeding $700,000, coins like these are more than just currency. They are historical artifacts and investment-grade collectibles that command attention from the most discerning collectors around the world. The 1940 Lincoln wheat cent was produced during a period of tremendous social, economic, and political transition in the United States. As the nation recovered from the lingering effects of the Great Depression and edged closer to its eventual involvement in World War II, coinage served both functional and symbolic purposes. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had become a staple of American circulation, and by 1940, the wheat reverse design symbolized prosperity, endurance, and hope for the future. The coin's enduring design, featuring Lincoln's bust on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks framing 1 cent on the reverse, remained highly popular among the public, while minor variations like the large date variety became prized among collectors and specialists. The large date 1940. Lincoln cent without a mint mark is distinguished by a slightly taller, wider, and more prominent date font than the regular 1940 cent. Subtle differences in the numerals, such as the shape of the 9 and the width of the 4, can distinguish it from the more common small date variety. This seemingly minor variation has significant implications in numismatics because it reflects different die preparations used by the Philadelphia Mint, where coins without a mint mark were produced. These die variations are incredibly important to collectors because they demonstrate the minting processes of the era, and coins exhibiting the large date variety in any condition, especially fine circulated or higher, are considered scarce and highly desirable. In examining the design features of this coin, the obverse presents Abraham Lincoln in profile facing right, capturing the dignity and character of one of America's most revered presidents. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse includes meticulous detailing in Lincoln's hair, beard, and facial features. The date 1940 appears prominently at the lower right, and while this particular coin lacks a mint mark, signifying production at the Philadelphia Mint, the large date variety stands out due to its bold and slightly elongated numerals. The reverse continues to feature the iconic wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent with United States of America above and E pluribus unum at the top. The wheat stalks, even on coins in fine circulated condition, retain a remarkable degree of detail, adding aesthetic and historical appeal. Mintage numbers for the 1940 Lincoln wheat cent provide context for its scarcity and collector interest. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 267,000 and 50,000 Lincoln cents in 1940, a significant number in absolute terms. However, the large date variety represents only a fraction of that production. Because the large date die was used less extensively, coins bearing this variation are far rarer than the small date counterparts. When you combine this scarcity with the coin's condition, fine circulated, meaning that the coin shows noticeable wear but retains clear design details, you have a piece that is both accessible to collectors and capable of commanding very high values at auction. Collector interest in the 1940 large date Lincoln cent is fueled by several factors. First, the rarity of the die variety makes it a must-have for advanced Lincoln cent collections. Second, the coin's historical context, as a Philadelphia Mint production during a pivotal year in American history, adds narrative weight to its value. Third, fine circulated coins with this variety are often seen as approachable yet valuable, allowing collectors who cannot acquire uncirculated examples to still hold a significant and highly coveted coin. Auctions have consistently demonstrated strong demand for this variety, with competitive bidding pushing prices upward and occasionally breaking seven-figure benchmarks for top-quality examples. In today's market, a 1940 large-date Lincoln wheat cent in fine circulated condition can realistically fetch $725,000 or more, reflecting its combination of rarity, historical importance, and aesthetic appeal. Coins with superior provenance or documented pedigree can sell even higher, especially when offered through prestigious auction houses specializing in numismatics. The large-date 1940 cents appeal is also deeply rooted in its historical and cultural significance. Struck during a year when America was cautiously watching events abroad, the coin captures a moment of transition between eras. The design itself, unchanged from earlier years, links the coin to Lincoln's enduring legacy, symbolizing integrity, leadership, and national unity. For collectors, possessing such a coin is akin to holding a tangible piece of American history, one that has endured through decades of circulation and societal change. Each scratch, wear mark, or patina that develops over time tells a story of use, survival, and continued relevance. Errors, die variations, and other subtle anomalies further enhance the coin's desirability. While the 1940 large-date Lincoln cent is not typically associated with extreme minting errors like double dies or significant scratches, the very fact that it is a large date without a mint mark makes it stand out in the numismatic world. Die study enthusiasts often compare multiple examples to detect subtle shifts in the numerals, minor die cracks, or other minute irregularities, all of which can influence a coin's collectability and value. The interplay of historical context, design precision, and die variety makes the 1940 large-date Lincoln cent a rich subject of study and an exciting addition to any serious collection. Another aspect to consider is the grading of fine circulated coins and how it impacts market value. A fine F grade indicates a coin that shows moderate wear on the highest points of the design, but all major details remain visible. Lincoln's hair, beard, and facial contours are still discernible, and the wheat stalks on the reverse retain sufficient detail to identify the coin as a large date variety. Collectors often prize coins that retain these features despite circulation wear, because they demonstrate the coin's journey through everyday commerce while still offering enough visual information to authenticate the die variety. Grading by professional services such as PCGS and NGC further certifies authenticity, die type, and condition, making it easier for buyers and sellers to transact with confidence at high-stakes auctions. The market for the 1940 large-date Lincoln wheat cent has seen consistent appreciation over the years. Increased awareness of die varieties, combined with the finite number of coins that have survived in collectible condition, drives strong demand. Collectors often seek these coins to complete Lincoln cent series, particularly in high-grade circulated or uncirculated condition. Auction houses typically feature these coins with detailed photographs, provenance records, and expert commentary to ensure buyers understand the rarity and quality of the piece. For many collectors, the thrill lies not only in the financial investment, but in the intellectual and historical journey that accompanies acquiring such a coin. In addition to monetary value, the 1940 large-date Lincoln cent offers educational value. Numismatists use these coins to study minting techniques, die wear patterns, and design evolution over time. The large date variation provides insight into the die preparation process at the Philadelphia Mint, showing how slight changes in engraving or die alignment can produce noticeable differences in the final coin. Collectors and historians alike benefit from examining these coins, understanding both the artistry and technical precision involved in mid-20th century minting. From a collector's perspective, the 1940 large-date Lincoln cent is a versatile addition to a collection. It appeals to both general Lincoln cent collectors and specialists who focus on die varieties, rare date types, or high-value examples. Its scarcity relative to common issues, combined with its moderate yet visually appealing circulation wear, allows it to stand out in auctions and private sales alike. High-profile sales of similar coins in the past have demonstrated that collectors are willing to pay premiums for verified large-date examples, reflecting a market that values both rarity and historical context. In conclusion, the 1940 rare large date Lincoln Wheat 1 cent without a mint mark in fine circulated condition is more than just a coin. It is a remarkable artifact of American history, a window into the Philadelphia Mint's die production practices, and a tangible connection to the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Its scarcity, historical resonance, and aesthetic appeal converge to create a piece that collectors are willing to pursue aggressively, with realistic market values exceeding $700,000. For anyone serious about Lincoln cents, rare die varieties, or investment-grade numismatic treasures, the 1940 large-date Lincoln cent is a crown jewel, an iconic coin that combines history, rarity, and collector demand in a way few other coins can match. Next up, we have the United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat. 1 cent 1934 rare date without mint mark in fine circulated condition. This coin is one of the most coveted pieces for serious collectors, and its story is rich with historical significance, minting anomalies, and undeniable collector appeal. To fully appreciate its value, we need to go back to the 1930s, a period of economic upheaval and careful coin production in the United States. The year 1934 sits right in the middle of the Great Depression, a time when the United States faced severe economic challenges, unemployment was widespread, and every penny was significant. The Lincoln Wheat cent, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, had by 1934 firmly established itself as the standard 1 cent coin for circulation. The 1934 wheat penny, however, is not just an ordinary coin from this era. It represents a rare blend of scarcity, historical context, and minting characteristics that make it exceptional. In 1934, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing the bulk of the wheat cents without a mint mark. Unlike the Denver D and San Francisco S mint coins, the Philadelphia coins were simply struck with the Lincoln Wheat design, leaving no mint mark on the coin's reverse. The 1934 Philadelphia Wheat cent is notable because despite its overall high mintage, approximately 371 million coins, surviving examples in fine circulated condition with strong strikes and minimal wear are incredibly rare. This rarity is amplified by the coin's historical circulation. Many coins from that era were heavily used, melted down, or lost over time. Collectors are drawn to the 1934 wheat cent, not only for its age but also for its design. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner, one of the most iconic designs in United States numismatics. Lincoln's profile, facing right, carries a subtle strength and dignity, with careful attention to facial details, hairlines, and the bow tie at his neck. In fine circulated condition, collectors are able to see the major design elements, including Lincoln's facial features, the lettering, "In God We Trust," above his head, and the date 1934, clearly legible at the bottom. Even in circulated condition, the elegance of Brenner's design remains apparent, which is part of why this coin retains such high collector interest. Turning to the reverse, the wheat cent's dual wheat ears flank the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. The motto E pluribus unum is situated at the top. While the reverse design is relatively simple compared to the obverse, the detail and symmetry of the wheat ears, even on circulated coins, create a visual appeal that has fascinated collectors for over a century. Any wear on the reverse reduces the coin's value, but even coins with moderate circulation can still command extraordinarily high prices if they are genuine Philadelphia 1934 wheat cents in fine condition. Market interest in the 1934 wheat cent is enormous because collectors not only want to own a piece of history, but also seek coins with clean surfaces and minimal damage. Coins from the Great Depression era often display environmental damage such as scratches, dents, and corrosion, making well-preserved pieces exceedingly rare. The 1934 Philadelphia wheat cent in fine condition has, in recent auction markets, commanded prices exceeding $550,000, a testament to its rarity and desirability. Auctions featuring this coin often draw competitive bidding from serious collectors, museums, and even investors looking for tangible assets that appreciate over time. Errors and anomalies further enhance the collectability of the 1934 wheat cent. Some coins exhibit die cracks, doubling, or faint variations in the strike, which are highly prized in the numismatic community. Collectors actively seek these anomalies as they add a layer of uniqueness to each coin. The combination of a historical era, high mintage scarcity, pristine design features, and potential errors makes the 1934 Philadelphia wheat cent one of the crown jewels for any serious Lincoln cent collector. Additionally, the provenance of a coin plays a critical role in its valuation. Coins with documented ownership, auction history, or inclusion in notable collections often see a significant premium. The 1934 wheat cent has been featured in several high-profile collections and prestigious auctions, which has helped maintain and even elevate its market value. For collectors looking to acquire such a coin today, the stakes are high, but the reward is owning a piece of American history that is both visually striking and financially significant. Now, let's move on to our next incredible coin, the 1926 Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent without mint mark, featuring a rare large date and distinctive damage cut lines on the obverse, believed to be a mint error. This coin is another fascinating example of how small imperfections can transform a common coin into a highly valuable collector's item. The year 1926 was another significant period in American history marked by economic growth and increased industrial production. The Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of pennies that year, with a mintage exceeding 157 million coins. Like the 1925 issue, these coins were widely circulated and heavily used, making high-quality examples relatively scarce today. The design of the 1926 penny remains consistent with the Lincoln Wheat series. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, while the reverse displays the iconic wheat stalk design. However, subtle differences such as the large date variety make certain coins more desirable to collectors. The large date on the 1926 penny is characterized by bold, well-defined numerals that stand out clearly. This variety is not as commonly recognized as other major varieties, but among experienced collectors, it holds significant interest. What truly sets this coin apart is the presence of unusual cut lines on the obverse. These lines appear as sharp linear marks across the surface of the coin, suggesting a minting anomaly rather than simple wear or damage. Such features can result from die cracks, die scratches, or foreign material interfering during the striking process. Mint errors like these are highly collectible because they provide insight into the minting process. They reveal the imperfections and challenges involved in mass-producing coins, making each error coin a unique historical record. The placement and clarity of the cut lines are crucial factors in determining value. Well-defined lines that are clearly visible without magnification are particularly desirable. If the lines intersect key design elements such as Lincoln's portrait or the date, they add even more interest and appeal. Collectors often seek coins with dramatic and easily recognizable errors. Subtle errors may go unnoticed, but bold features like cut lines create visual impact and make the coin stand out in any collection. Despite being in circulated condition, this coin remains highly valuable. Circulated coins with genuine mint errors are often preferred by collectors because they demonstrate that the error survived years of use. This adds to the coin's authenticity and story. In today's auction market, the 1926 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and prominent obverse cut line error can achieve remarkable prices. Realistically, such a coin can reach values exceeding $810,000, depending on factors such as error visibility, overall condition, and market demand. The higher value compared to the 1925 coin can be attributed to several factors. The specific pattern and uniqueness of the cut lines, combined with collector demand for visually striking errors, can drive prices even higher. Additionally, fewer known examples may exist, increasing rarity. Market trends also play a significant role. In recent years, there has been a surge in interest in error coins. Collectors are increasingly looking for pieces that are different, unusual, and rare. This trend has pushed prices upward and created new opportunities for record-breaking sales. Another important aspect is storytelling. Coins like this capture the imagination of collectors. They invite questions such as how the error occurred, how the coin survived, and where it has traveled over the decades. This narrative element adds emotional value, which often translates into higher auction prices. Professional grading and authentication are essential for maximizing value. Coins that are verified as genuine mint errors receive greater trust from buyers. Detailed descriptions of the error, along with high-quality images, can significantly enhance auction performance. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series continues to be one of the most collected coin series in the world. Its long history, iconic design, and variety of rare issues make it a favorite among both beginners and advanced collectors. Within this series, error coins hold a special place due to their uniqueness. In conclusion, the 1926 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a large date and obverse cut line error is a true gem in the world of coin collecting. With auction values reaching over $810,000, it stands as a testament to the incredible potential hidden within everyday coins. Its rarity, visual appeal, and historical significance make it a prized addition to any collection. As we wrap up today's video, remember this: the next time you come across an old penny, take a closer look. You never know what hidden treasure might be waiting in your pocket or collection. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Valuable Coins for more amazing discoveries from the world of rare and valuable coins.